What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. My name is Splattercat. We are here today with the next episode of Forsaken Isle. In the previous episode, we had managed to get ourselves into a little bit of trouble with the locals, namely these little skeleton guys. Why they've decided to take an island vacation, I don't know, but I don't really blame them either. I mean, they say that they always use that phrase in books, like the most cliche phrase ever, where they're like, the bleached bones. And this is apparently how they get bleached. They go on island vacations for a little while, and then they just come back perfectly bleached. I've replaced the fire over here in between episodes, but that's about it, aside from chopping down all of these trees over here. And so what we need to do today is we just need to deforest. That's the only thing that we're concerned about at the moment, is deforestation of everything, because up until we can make ourselves some storage chests, we can't really get much done in the game, because we're carrying around too much loot right now. That sounds like it wouldn't be that big of a problem, but ask any bank robber, carrying too much loot can quickly become a problem. That was my favorite mission. Like, I didn't really like GTA 4 that much, but my favorite mission was the one where you robbed the bank. That was the best one. And you're like running through the streets with like the helicopters chasing you and everything. Best mission in the entire game. All the other ones, meh, but that was great. Oh, they just despawned. Awesome. I would have preferred that they exploded in giant hulking husks of fire, but you know what? Sometimes you can't get what you want. Let's go ahead and finish this all off. We're going to try and make our farm pretty soon too, because we've been sort of subsistence living thus far. Well, I don't know if that's the right term to use. We're not picking up sticks either, which is disappointing to me. These copper axes do seem to do a great job at lasting a lot longer than their previous owners, and now we're just not picking up like anything. There we go. We'll have to come back for the sticks, I think. But we do need more sticks very, very badly. We're like an oldies rock station. Just always more sticks. No, I don't even know. I don't even listen to sticks, so meh. Let's go ahead and bust open these coconuts. It's going to take us a while because you actually have to sit down and break every single one. And so I apologize for the sound of my ridiculously frenzied clicking. I don't know if there's a way to click stacks faster. I'm going to assume that there's not, because I like to stay ignorant in the case that I can either enlighten myself or stay ignorant. Meh, let's just stay ignorant. Whatever. It is indeed bliss. It is indeed bliss. So what we need now is we need to make planks. That's what it was. So we'll make some planks. Now that we've got the planks, what we want to do is we want to move over to here. And with the few iron ingots that we have left, let's go ahead and make like 4 chests. That seems alright. That seems like that would be the perfect... What was that? A bow shaft? What? Okay, we'll make that in a minute. I didn't even know I could craft that. I knew I could make arrows, and so I assumed there was a bow, but I wasn't positive that there was a bow. And so now, where I prefer that these go, let's do something like that right there. And I'm going to be building the walls around all of that. And then if we want to put stuff in the chest, you just right-click them. And I'm going to take some of these items that I don't really use for anything. We're going to be needing the resin pretty soon. We've got our mason block. I need to hold on to that too. But a lot of the stuff that I'm not going to be crafting with anytime soon, we can just fold that over into here. Or, you know, lean it over. If folding's not an option, you can also use any other manner of, you know, closure that you'd like. I mean, folding seems to be the most efficient, so that's the one that I'm going to stick with for now. But you can do other things. With the glow bulbs in there, sure, that seems alright. And past that, I think we're in pretty good shape right now. Our tools are still holding out alright for us. So I think I'm going to put the tool heads in there. I'll keep the leather with me. The bark we can use for a couple of things. You can make primitive chests out of bark. It's okay. The primitive chests are alright. I'm thinking that this game is actually doing the Nintendo thing where the stuff just sits around and blinks because it doesn't have the memory or something to show it on screen. I mean, that's an incredibly rudimentary way for me to describe what's happening, and probably horribly false, but from what I can tell, it looks like they're just blinking from being on the ground or something. I don't know. Let's pick up all these sticks, because I am always out of sticks in this game. We'll chop down this plant with a plank. There we go. A few more fibers. And I think let's continue to deforest. I mean, the the island is looking decidedly less tropical now that we've decided to destroy all the trees. I can't wait to see what's done with this game. This is one of those games like Don't Starve, where I'm excited about the next patch cycle. Like, I really do sincerely want to see what they're going to add to the game next, because I've already vouched for the game. It's already too late. The episode is made. I've already vouched for the game, and at this point, I'm just hoping that it lives up to my expectations, because what I've seen so far, it's just like, at this point, all that they really need to add is like higher tiers of items, more complicated stuff to craft, like switches, all of that redstone stuff that all the engineers like to play around with, and then past that point, once you've got all the binary switch logic and stuff in game. Oh, I was swinging my axe even though I wasn't doing anything. It's okay. It was close to broken anyways, and I prefer a perfect axe if we're going to have one. I'm going to try and chop down enough wood for right now to keep us stocked up for the future. I think we're only getting like one log out of each of these trees anyways, so this might be sort of a long, arduous process of getting enough wood to build an entire base. Still, at least the chopping mechanic is fast. It doesn't take quite as long. I don't need to be getting my beaver buff out like I do in Don't Starve to chop down trees effectively. There we go. And so I really can't wait to see what sort of actual storyline stuff they're going to add to the game. Like the sort of things that the game already has the baseline mechanics you require for a fun survival game. Everything's polished, everything's looking good, it has its own graphical style that's intriguing and also attractive in its own way. Now what they need to add is just more crafting items and then things to make the world feel more alive, like little storyline bits, like maybe there'll be dungeons, and in each dungeon you'll find little notes and things that talk about the lore of the island, and stuff like that, just random little things to flesh out the world, if you know what I mean. What we need now is we need to lathe out a few more planks, so let's go ahead and get started on that. The planks are done. Now we need to go with wooden floors. I don't know how many more we're going to need. I can't assume, I mean 51 seems like a pretty generous allocation of flooring. So let's go ahead and get the remainder of our base built. There we go. That's looking nice. I'm going to break down all of these. Oh, and I'm so glad that we're able to break down all of our little crafting nodes. If I couldn't, and I couldn't recollect them, I'd be a piss to be around. Oh man, I don't want that to happen. How do I get rid of that? Maybe a shovel? Probably a shovel. Doesn't matter. We're going to cover it with a block anyways. And so I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's not 5. There we go. So we'll go up to here. And for now, we'll make it like a 3-room condo. And that'll just work. And then what we'll do is we'll maybe make these look a little bit less flat and angular by using some of the extra wood to do something like that right there. Over here, maybe do the same thing. Oh, it's not actually letting me place that in the water. So do I have to dig up sand and maybe throw sand in the water first, and then that's how we set down a foundation? I don't know. I'm learning new stuff when I play this game right now. Learning new stuff. Well, that's fine. We'll just go do it down along the bottom right here then. Anyways. And we'll throw... this one right there because we're going to have to go out to there anyways. Alright, so we've gotten all that wood taken care of. The final thing that I'd want to do is maybe smash the rest of this coconut. And then we'll sit and eat some coconut for now. And wow, is this guy going to have diarrhea in like 10 minutes. In case you didn't know, for survival's sake, if you're ever in a survival situation where you have like coconuts, don't get down on coconuts. Don't just sit there and be like, I love coconut, it's so delicious. I love the way it crunches and the milk's so good too. Because you will have diarrhea and it will cost you all kinds of body fluids. And that is really, really bad when you're trying to survive in a suboptimal environment. So now what I need to do is, we've got the pickaxes, so let's go ahead and we will take those. And what we're going to do now is, let's place all of our, I'm going to put general crafting items. We actually should probably lay down torches and stuff too. So I'll put a torch right there, a torch right there, you know, just help illuminate our base, kind of get it set up, and we can take them down later if we don't like the way that it looks. Murder that skeleton who's coming in here to ruin our decorative effects. We're trying to make the world a more beautiful place, at least for us. Like, no, I hate your sense. Your design sense is terrible, and you should be ashamed of yourself. You need to take a class or something. You're not a professional. I'm like, I know I'm not a professional. I was forced into this situation, man. I didn't ask to be put on a desert island. And so there we go. We've actually got our base lit up now, and what we need to do is find some more stone. But first, I want to place all of my crafting tables. So let's go with that right there. And the workbench will be central because that's the thing that we need to work just about everything. However, this room will be for woodworking related stuff. So we'll go with a, let's see, the door is going to be right there. So maybe we'll put it right there. And then on this side, we'll go with, the tanning rack isn't necessarily related to woodworking, but we'll put it in here. Because we can. And then we'll put in, once we make the spinning wheel, we'll put that down here. You know, just like random stuff. This will be the forge over here next to the water because we've got to cool everything and make sure that it's like nice and tempered. And so what we'll do here is I might actually bust these up pretty shortly and put them in new spots. But for now, I'm just trying to get them out of my inventory before we go adventuring again. I need to figure out how to fill in the water tiles, which I'm assuming has something to do with the shovel. I can probably dig up earth elsewhere and move it around because I've seen people's projects where they dig out or they build out into the water. And so I'm assuming that you're able to do it. Maybe those were just like doctored by somebody or something, but I don't like to say things like that because it's not nice. So I'm going to assume that there's ways to do it for right now. I just need to get a little bit of time and figure out how to do it. And so let's go back down to the cave and we'll gather up all those little pieces of equipment that we need. Kill off some of these zombies. As of right now, I think the game needs more enemies. The game definitely needs more enemies, and they need aggressive enemies. So if you look at the way, I think, once again, I'm going to invoke Don't Starve here as kind of the perfect example. Don't Starve is a game that largely leaves you to yourself. Unless you get yourself in trouble, the game is probably not going to kill you. However, as the game goes along, it slowly ramps up the difficulty. I would love to see something like that with this game, where you start to get like new types of zombies, new types of enemies that are coming after you. I'm all out of torches, so unfortunately we're going to get a little bit cold as we dig down through here, but that's just going to be one of those hazards that we got to deal with. I will chop up these right here because I'm always out of cordage, like I've said many, many times previously in the episodes before. We'll get rid of some, yeah, there it is, and we need a ton of stone too. So what I may end up doing down here is actually digging out one of these walls. You can also get pure stone just from these stone blocks right here that I'm digging up. A little bit more coal. On the metalworking end, a little bit disappointed by what we've been getting from this dungeon, but we'll stick it out. We will stick it out as far as we can, and we'll just hope that something good happens. So these stones right here that I just dug up, you can also dig out the walls and you'll get a couple of stone from those, which is in fact what I may do now. Let's go back up to where we entered the dungeon, and perhaps we will dig around that location. Alright, so we'll dig out this wall right here. We only get like 2 stone from each one, but it's cool to say that you can actually dig out any of the walls in this game that you want to. And I want to make stone walls for my base. I want to make sure that they're nice and solid and that we don't have to worry about anything digging its way through. The walls can't be destroyed right now as far as I know, and that's a good thing. I really hate it in survival games when your walls can be destroyed because then you're constantly just dealing with the fact. For example, that's one of the reasons that I don't like 7 Days to Die, is because your base is just constantly being annihilated by a never-ending horde of zombies. And so you can never build anything nice. You can never, like, have nice things. Either that or you have to come up with these complex, like, pit systems to make the whole thing work. And I just prefer to avoid it altogether. Just make the base walls indestructible, make the doors destroyable or something, and then force me to deal with it one by one at a time. But, you know, we've got 66 stones right there. Fantastic. I think another line of this wall and we should be good to get going with the construction of our base. And then I'll also try and figure out, I mostly just want to use up this pickaxe. That's the big thing that I'm trying to focus on right now, is I don't want to be carrying around extra tools that are not going to be used anytime soon. And so while this might be one of our final forays into the underground, I think that for a 3rd episode, we're sort of at the point right now where there's not a whole lot more stuff left for us to do in the game aside from build our base and then build a garden, after which fact there's not really going to be anything left to explore or have fun with. So that's when we sit and we wait for updates to come, silently and patiently. If there's anything that Cube World has taught me, it's that sometimes it takes a really, really long time for anything to be developed. Luckily, I don't think the development is as slow as Cube World for this game, but still, gonna end up waiting would be my guess, and this is definitely one that I'm gonna be waiting on. I like this game enough to where I can tell that I'm just gonna be sitting there like refreshing the page, being like, come on, new stuff, new stuff. Alright, so over here what we want to do, oh, we already had stone blocks. I'm an idiot. Okay, well, we needed to make stone walls first, and we're gonna need a ton of these. So let's go ahead and just get those going now. Chop up a whole bunch of these blocks. We can also make a grindstone so that we can make flour for bread. That's what these round stones are for right here. Haven't done it yet, but that'll be something we'll play with. Like I said, I'm trying to make it so that we see like everything that there is in the game before I quit playing. I'm going to convert all of this because I never quite know how much my construction projects are going to take to complete. And so I'd rather overstock than understock. And so now that we've got that, there it is. We'll start putting in the walls right here. Oh, glorious. Looking good. Looking very, very nice. I have to say I am pleased about this right now. As you can tell by the tone of my voice, I'm not like enraptured or anything, but I'm liking the way it's coming out already, although I don't think we're going to have enough stone for it. I think we're going to run out right before we get to the end. Especially if we make these inner walls like so. Oh, but it's looking so good right now. I am stoked about this. Go in from there, make sure that all the rooms are in place. How crazy would that be if I landed like on the perfect amount that I needed for this to get constructed properly? Like totally on accident. Okay, so we have some minor security issues. Can I place that right there? I cannot. So let's take a second and figure out how we're supposed to get the earth filled in right here. I don't know if this is going to be something that I'll be able to figure out, but I'm going to try. I'm damn well going to try. So let's go to our chest over here. We've got a couple of shovels. We'll come back over here. I think I've only got like one refined stick left, so this is going to be a real short trip. But let's play around with the shovel for a minute and see what we can do with that, because I have seen people's building projects that go out into the water, and I am intrigued by the possibility of maybe going out there and taking care of it. So now that we've got sand, it says that it's placeable, so let's see if that's the guy that we need in order to make this work. It is not. And so, can I dig this layer underneath here? I'll do it down here just to be safe. Oh, you can. Okay, so you can get dirt out of the bottom too. And so I guess I'll treat this as my dirt pit maybe. Is the dirt placeable? I'm really, really hoping it's placeable. Wow, they've already got the mechanics in place for multiple layers. That's such a cool thing. I'm so excited about where this game is going to be going in the future. And how it's going to distinguish itself from its competition. We'll eat some berries. And let's take this dirt and see if maybe that'll get us where we want to be. There it is. And so the dirt is what you have to do first. So let's lay down the dirt. And the deep water out here, you can't actually bypass that. That's not going to be something that you can get out of. Did I mess this up over here somehow? I feel like I messed that up over there somehow, but I don't know if I did or not. I also missed a stone wall right there. Well, damn. Let's make that happen so that the whole thing looks a little bit purtier. And then we'll get back to shoveling, because obviously we need to fill in a bit more of the dirt over there as well. And so this will just be like a big, ugly, empty pit area outside of our base that we'll use as maybe like our midden pit or something if we're trying to get into the, I suppose, theme or historical accuracy of the situation. That's what people back in the day did with their trash, is they just threw it down a hole and they assumed that like the universe would just sort it out. You'd be like, I dug a hole and I threw my trash down in it. It's sort of like in Trailer Park Boys where Ricky is talking about how if you throw trash into a lake, nature just cleans it up automatically. You should watch that monologue. It's hilarious. So Trailer Park Boys is one of my favorite shows of all time. And there's a character, Ricky, and he's talking about his scientific theory of how if you throw trash into a lake, it just goes away because nature knows how to clean it up all by itself. And so it's just like him talking about it, and in the background he's like throwing bikes and just like all kinds of stuff out into the lake and then just like walking away. It's funny because it's over. Oh, there's a skelly in my base. How dare you, sir? He's like, well, look nice, and I wanted to move in. I couldn't find the lease agent, so I just assumed that it was open. You need to be better at choosing your real estate, amigo. Let's go back over here, and we'll go with these stones. And we'll make it look a little bit less natural. Maybe have like something like that right there. There we go. Just make it look a little bit less like it's been so heavily doctored by man's hand. And what I wanted to do over here is, I didn't finish it. That's what it was. Okay, so I need to get the planks. Let's go back over to our lathe, and we'll make some more floor planks. I do wish there was an option to get rid of the footprint sound. I don't know, some people are like OCD about that. I am one of those people, and so the sound of footsteps in video games drives me crazy sometimes, but only after I notice them. So I apologize if I passed my weird phobia / problem onto you, but I do wish that there was an option to silence the footsteps. I mean, just saying. It'd be nice. Okay, so we've got that. We need to make ourselves, and we're gonna fall short, unfortunately. Also, I did something dumb. No, my pickaxe is gone. Oh well, I don't think I have to make this totally match. I mean, I could get rid of... Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll get rid of those 3 over there, and I'll make these a little bit less. I don't know. I like the way that it looks right now. And so what we need to do at this point is possibly start our garden. And so in order to make our garden, I think you can make a picket fence or something. That's for a stick fence. That's for a bow. Let's play around with the bow for a little bit. I don't know how you make arrows, but we'll try and sort it out. So we've got sticks. Do I need refined sticks for arrows, maybe? That doesn't look like it does it. A chisel, a stick fence, a flint shovel. Yeah, we'll make a flint hoe for right now because that's definitely what we needed. So we'll get out here and let's actually make some of this stuff into equitable land that we can use in the future. Murder a few of these skeletons to get them out of the way, and then we will start to sow our wild oats and both our native oats. The oats both wild and domesticated into this little area. Ow. I got bit by that zombie. Dick. Let me use my band-aids on myself. Oh, yeah. I wish you had a little number right here that told you how much you healed. Maybe they'll add that in the future. Just, you know, a little bit of feedback for the player. I think what I'm going to think about doing is... Yeah, let's turn this into... We'll make this into our little field. There we go. And so this will be... I don't know, for something. Let's get rid of some of this grass so that it looks a little bit nicer. There we go. Got some grains. I think this is going to be like our carrot field. So let's go back and we'll grab our carrots out of the chest and we'll make this into a carrot field. Oh, I've never been so excited about farming before. This is going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. So got 16 carrot seeds. Let's go ahead and plant those. I have no idea how this mechanic works, and so I am interested in testing it out. Oh yeah, there it is. Little seedlings going on. Hell yeah. Okay. Alright, this is pretty awesome. So we need to go get ourselves some more seedlings. Carrots! We go on the hunt for carrots. Bring yourself forth to me, carrot, that I might take you, carrot, and force you into the ground to grow your further progeny, and then consume them for my own health. To slake my metabolism, I take thee into my mouth and bite heartily down upon you, Lord Carrot. Got a little carried away there for a second. Sorry, guys. And gals. And everybody. I always have tough time with that because I've had people like send me like detailed emails because I say guys and I don't say gals afterwards and they get angry. But where I come from regionally, like it's commonplace where if you're addressing a mixed group, you just say, "What's up, guys?" Like you just say like everybody. And so I think that based on grammar rules from other languages, it doesn't quite compute. But where I live, if you have a mixed group, you need to be like, "Hey, what's up, everybody?" Like saying "What's up, guys?" is saying the same thing as "What's up, everybody?" But in order to make it more accessible for everybody, I try to make it so that we get all the little tenses in there so that everybody feels included. I'm not going to pass judgment on whether or not I feel it's worthwhile, but at the same time, anytime I can make people more comfortable here at the Nerd Castle, that's what I would prefer to do. Let's go ahead and eat all of those right there. God, we have so many coconuts. There's so much diarrhea in our future. It is just going to be a giant whirlybird just mess. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be absolutely terrible. We need to find some carrots, and this is ridiculous. So I'm going to go on the quest for carrots. This is episode number 3 of our Forsaken Isle playthrough. There's not a whole lot more that I can showcase aside from maybe expanding out a little bit and doing a bit more farming and then making like an iron helmet. I think we can do some alchemy that's in the game right now. I don't necessarily know precisely how it works. We can also do some cooking, so we can make a millstone, we can make a kitchen, and we can make some other stuff. And so if you're interested in seeing some of those other work tables, I think there's about 5 work tables left. Each one has maybe 10 recipes that you can use with each one. And so once we get to that point, I do want to showcase everything the game has to offer so that you can make an enlightened decision as to whether or not the game is for you. It's $2.99, so in all honesty, it's probably one of the cheapest survival games you could buy for the amount of content. Even at this point, the amount of content you're getting out, I think I've gotten like 10 hours out of the game just playing around with stuff. And so now I patiently wait for updates. My name is Splattercat. I look forward to seeing you all later. If you like the game, vote for it on Greenlight so that it'll come to Steam and get more exposure and more people will know about it. Additionally, you can purchase the game through the website, which I will list down below for $1.99 $1.99 or $2.99 or $3.99 or something incredibly cheap. Basically, the price of a bag of chips. I'll see y'all later. Take care out there, everybody, and hi-do as always.